Have you ever feel so exhausted of life that sometimes you just want to end it? Sometimes work, projects, school, it's so overwhelming that sometimes you feel like it's not worth it anymore. You just don't want to continue with it. Well, today I choose for my narrative prose Veronika Decides to Die by Paulo Coelho. The reason I choose this book is because in a part of my life I had a dark path where I went through bullying, and when I read this book, it literally changed my perspective on how to look at life, even through rough situations. Narrative prose that I will present to you today, talks about Veronica, a girl that just decided that her life, though she wasn't depressed, or she thought she was not depressed or had anxiety, she was overwhelmed, she was exhausted, or literally like life, she thought that life was boring and that she had good times and she was fine, but she was done with it. So she decided to end her life. And while she was doing that, she was reading a magazine where she read something about where is Slovenia, with the place where she lived, and she thought that question was really dumb in a way. Like, how could people in their city didn't know where was Slovenia, because it was written in a magazine, right? So she wrote to a magazine that the reason for her death was that the people in her city did not know where Slovenia was. So what I understand from her perspective was that it was just an excuse to all the excuses that we give ourselves. Not where's Slovenia, but maybe we give ourselves an excuse where she was bored, or she had trauma, or maybe she went to a relationship that didn't work out or something. But her excuse at that point, that she wanted, when the people find her in the room, that they thought she actually killed herself because people didn't know where Slovenia was. So sometimes we just want to say that we have another, we just put another face in our it was like a mask to our face, saying that we are happy when we are actually not happy. And I know many of us go through that we say that we are actually happy when we're not, but that's the face that we present. So for her, saying that she was killing herself because people didn't know where Slovenia was her excuse. And also she said that it was for her mom not to feel guilty of maybe the trauma that she caused her, but she wanted even her mom to know that there was nothing to do with her, but also just for them to see that her reason was because people didn't know where Slovenia was. So you will read in this book from Paulo Coelho. The book is called Veronika Decides to Die, and you'll find out that, well, she went to a psychiatric clinic where she found more people like her that had anxiety and that didn't want to come back to their life, to like real life or to their day-to-day life, because they didn't want to confront the problem that they were going through, maybe. And then she met another man that had schizophrenia. Well, it was a fake schizophrenia because he also didn't want to confront life. So like I said, sometimes we go through things that we do not want to accept life as it is. We just give ourselves excuses, or we're just tired, and it's normal to feel like that. My name is Julia Cornejo, and I hope you enjoy this narrative prose. Thank you. On November 11th, 1997, Veronica decided that the moment to kill herself had at last arrived. She carefully cleaned the room that she rented in a convent, turned off the heat, brushed her teeth, and lay down. She picked up the 4-pack of sleeping pills from her bedside table. Instead of crushing them with water, she decided to take them one by one because there is always a gap between intention and action, and she wanted to feel free to turn back halfway. Since she didn't know exactly how long they would take her to lose consciousness, she had placed on the bed that month's issue of a French magazine. The fact that she had met the author led her to think that he was part of her world and that reading an article about his work could help pass the time. To her surprise, though, the first line of the text shook her out of her natural passivity. The tranquilizer had not yet dissolved in her stomach, but Veronika was by nature passive, and for the first time of her life, it made her ponder the truth of a saying that was very fashionable among her friends: nothing in the world happened by chance. Veronika began to feel nausea. Which became rapidly more intense. Thank you all for watching. I hope you enjoyed this narrative, Prose. Veronika Decides to Die by Paulo Cohelo. And remember, if you ever feel that a problem has gone too far, like in the case of Veronika, please contact the National Suicide Prevention Line at 800-273-8255. Thank you, and thanks for staying. Bye.